5 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and begin our meeting. I'll call this meeting to order of March 24th, 2026. I'm Commissioner Wilson filling in tonight for Mayor Bray, who could not be here. And so I'll ask the city clerk to call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Present.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Present.
Mayor Bray? Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Present. And at this point, if you would stand, I'd ask Commissioner Smith to lead the invocation, and then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, we thank you for your grace and goodness. May your face continually shine upon us so that your ways may be known in our communities. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Manager, are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson, none this evening.
Okay, great, thank you. So we do have a presentation tonight. I guess y'all are on a road show this week. I know that you did the same, I guess, last night for the McCracken County Fiscal Court. So we do have the McCracken County 911 Administrative Board budget presentation, and Jeff Parker is here to deliver that, share that with us. So Jeff, we're ready for you.
I thought y'all saved the best for last.
We got you first.
Speaking of which, you have a catering company, there's no food here.
I could have fed you, couldn't I, Commissioner Smith? All right. So, I don't know what exactly you have in front of you, but I'll go over some of the high points, and then we'll go through the presentation real quick. So, as far as summary-wise, fiscal year 26 and 27, your expenses are projected to increase from $3.34 million to $3.49 million, which will be a 4% increase. There's a few different drivers. Health insurance, approximately $40,000. Radio side insurance, $33,500. Utilities, $24,500. Security upgrades, $70,000. Tire remediation, and a few of the one-time costs will run around $75,000. Fiscal year 27 revenue, $2.987 million. And that'll be mainly from 911 fees, which the CRMS is going to be about $407,000. There won't be any telecom tax or grant income, which will give us a shortfall of $503,962. So that'll be split between the city and county. I don't know what kind of questions you'll have. Some of the one-time expenses, the increases, property insurance, $33,500. Fuel at the 5 shelters, propane, $3,500. Electricity, $21,000. Security at the 5 shelter sites, which will be a non-reoccurring, once we get them up and going, be $70,000. And 911 tire remediation at the sites, again, non-reoccurring, $75,000. So those two things will not be there after next year. And then you've already seen the changes we made to the collection side of it. So we feel like with a little bit coming in better on the collection side, and we know we're at a little more on the spending side, hopefully that amount will get smaller as we go on over the next year or two. Any questions? Yes, sir.
One comment and a little bit of a question. The tower remediation, are you tearing down old towers, or what is a tower?
I think so. I'll get Chief up here. He'll explain that more to you.
Could you go back to that slide?
The last bullet point.
Yeah, the tower remediation is for the 911 tower. We need to actually make it a little bit smaller. So,
Shorten it, you know.
engineering folks have said if we chop about 100 feet off the top of it, we don't have to do additional work to make it stronger on the bottom. The newer stuff doesn't have to be
Okay.
all the way at the top.
Okay.
So it'll actually save us some money in the long run by making it a little bit smaller tower.
That's great. Thank you, and thank you, you all. I know this is a hard board to be on. Thank you all for.
Been an interesting one, really.
What about the shelter sites? Can you explain a little bit more on that?
Sure. So there's 5 tower sites now. Each one of those sites has a generator, a small little shelter that's there that the equipment's housed in, and then they have a propane tank on site as well. So some of those costs, the electricity, those are just kind of, they're budgets. They're a guesstimate. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like. So we have to have an electric meter at each one of those sites as well.
Okay, so the
That'd be a good-
1.5 is the non-recurring that would just
Yeah.
be this 1 year.
Correct.
That'd be a good field trip for commissioners one day, visit those sites. They're interesting, it is, I mean.
And then, can you explain, because you said it's gonna be nearly 500,000, but that adds up to the 250 something that will be split. So how's the math work for that?
Well, those are just some of the highlights of,
Okay.
of
Yeah.
things that are increases in the budget, like the property insurance. So that is to put insurance on the $7 million worth of equipment that we have. So if something happens at one of those tower sites, we have that insured. So we're just kind of showing some of those costs that have gone up. That 500,000 is the difference between what the parcel fee is bringing in and what the CMRS money, the cell phone fee money, brings in, and the budget. So that it also includes the cost of living increases and things like that, and other personnel costs.
So it's not a comprehensive list of the
Correct.
different,
This
it's
was
just the
correct.
highlights.
Lindsay, can you go to that slide? So there is the revenue, and then that maxes out on the expenses. So
You go to the next one more slide there.
Yep.
there you go.
Yep. So that's about a $100,000 increase over what the budget was last year. So
And
we felt like we were doing pretty good with that, with all the
say.
additional costs.
But if you take those non-recurring charges out, you're
Yeah.
about the same,
shape.
maybe even a little better, so.
So you want to explain how that will come out of our budget?
So yes, and so what we do is the 911 fees that are collected are the revenue is split equally or goes all into the budget, and so it's equated equally from the city and the county since we have equal share of the expenses. And so any delta that is there, whether positive or negative, well, let me start on the negative. If there is a shortfall on what is collected between the fees and the CMRS, then the city and the county both budget that to cover that shortfall, and that comes out of our general fund budget to go in there to make that shortfall up. If we got to a point where we would have a more revenue over expenses, which would be a very good thing to happen, then the state law that covers the actual 911 requires us to then look at the budget for the next year and readjust any of those parcel fees that we have put on to try to balance it out. The goal is to try to get as close to equilibrium as possible, and only 250,000 shortfall from either city and the county on that. That is a far cry from the 1+ million we were putting in out
I
of.
think 2 years ago, at 1.2 something,
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you for your work on it.
I
We
get to
really
go home
appreciate
early.
it.
Hey, one thing real quick, these guys are amazing. You've got a good team, so, easy to work with and know their stuff. Can't say enough about them.
Thank you. I know
Thank you,
it's
Jeff.
been a long road to get to where we are, so thank you very much for
Yes,
your
ma'am.
leadership. Okay, do we have any public comments tonight?
None this evening.
Okay, I don't have any remarks, so we'll move on. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the Board of Commissioners and will be acted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. The city clerk will read the items recommended for approval. Would any commissioner like any item removed for separate discussion?
No.
Okay, great. I ask the city clerk to read the items recommended for approval.
Approve minutes for the March 10th, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting. Receive and file documents. Appointment to the Civic Beautification Board of Lauren Ashley Gentry to replace Leslie Haywood Moore, who has resigned, and Jennifer Code to replace Colleen Stovesan, whose term has expired. Said term shall expire July 1st, 2027 and July 1st, 2030, respectively. Appointment to the Creative and Cultural Council of Kathleen McHaney to replace Chad Clark, whose term is expired. Kathleen Musser to replace Basil Drosos, who has resigned, and Jesse Fletcher to replace Cheryl Sullivan, who has resigned. These terms shall expire March 24th, 2029, March 24th, 2028, respectively. Reappointment of Amanda Johnson to the Historical and Architectural Review Commission. Said term shall expire November 27th, 2029. Personnel actions, a municipal order authorizing and directing the engineering department to release an invitation to bid for the removal, repair, and replacement of pump 3 at Pump Station 11. A municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Deloitte in the amount of $40,000 for fiscal year 2026 cybersecurity assessment. A municipal order authorizing and directing the city manager to release a request for proposals for cameras to support Parks Cameras Phase 1. A municipal order authorizing and directing the city manager to release an invitation for bids for electrical to support the Parks Cameras Phase 1. A municipal order authorizing an application for and acceptance of a 2026 through 2027 Kentucky Household Hazardous Waste Grant through the Kentucky Division of Waste Management in an amount of $58,805 to assist in funding the city-county annual Spring Cleanup Day, and authorizing the mayor to execute all grant documents and the interlocal agreement with McCracken County for said grant. A municipal order authorizing the approving contract amendment number 2 between the City of Paducah and Tetra Tech in an amount not to exceed $15,000, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all documents related to same. A municipal order authorizing and directing the Solid Waste Division of the Public Works Department to release a request for proposals for municipal solid waste services.
So moved. Second.
Would you call roll, please?
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. All right, our first municipal order to read tonight is municipal order A. I'll ask the city clerk to read the municipal order, please.
A proposed motion of the Board of Commissioners to adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Authorizing the Application for and Acceptance of a Community Project Funding Grant through the fiscal year 2027 EPA STAG Clean Water Grant Program for the Branch Parallel Pipe Conveyance Improvement Project in an amount of $1,760,000, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same."
So moved.
Second.
All right, Greg, are you going to explain this?
Sure. Evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, City Manager, City Clerk. So I'm going to skip ahead, actually, a couple slides. This project is for the branch. I don't know how well you can see that on there, but this is, the branch runs right along through here on, this is Westwood Hills subdivision. Here's the railroad, 32nd Street. This project was identified in the 2018 Comprehensive Stormwater Master Plan. This project involves an area that experiences localized flooding during heavy rain conditions. So this project is geared at addressing both some water quantity issues, but also water quality in the region. The proposed project would include upgrading or installing a new large diameter pipe to run parallel to the existing system. It would involve improving the inlet capacity at the upstream end of the project and reconstruction of existing detention basins, both for, like I said, water quantity improvements, but also water quality. Likewise, benefits would include downstream, some of the areas, Cruz, Levin, Trimble Street, areas that experience overland flooding currently. This would help provide relief, also help provide relief to the combined sewer system in those areas, and help ultimately provide relief, Pump Station 1 in Noble Park. This is just further upstream in that system. So that's what this project is centered around. We're working with, we're proposing to look for the EPA STAG program, the clean water funding that's working through Congressman Comer's office. And you see on the slides what the ask for of $1,760,000 and the City of Paducah's match $440,000, with the project timing to be appropriated in federal fiscal year 2027. Is there any questions with that?
I would just say there's no guarantee we would get
Correct.
it. This is just really to make the official the application that we
Yes.
would like to have submitted.
Yes.
Do you all have any questions?
It'd be great to get. I mean, that would be
Absolutely.
a nice thing to have come up with $440,000 for a project like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was identified as one of our top 10.
Yes, in the CSMP, it was one of the 10 priority areas. So yeah, it would be wonderful to be able to pursue this project at that cost.
And this will relieve some problems, like you said, 11, Trimble, and
Cruz,
Cruz, all those, yeah.
streets that are just on the
Yeah.
east side of 32nd Street there, this is just one element to help provide some relief there. You've got, it's all tied together as far as trying to do a little bit to provide relief all the way down.
That's good, thank you.
Anything else? Thank you,
And,
Greg.
would just recognize Mayor Pro Tem Wilson's work on getting us to this point too. So thank you for helping that and helping shepherd that through with the congressman's staff.
You're welcome. All right, you call roll?
Commissioner Henderson,
All right,
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
Aye. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate your work on it, your departments. Next is municipal order B.
A proposed motion of the Board of Commissioners to adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Approving an Employment Agreement Between the City of Paducah and Police Officer Jason Montgomery and Authorizing the Mayor to Execute Same."
So moved.
second.
All right, Chief Laird.
Good evening again, everyone. What you have before you is an employment agreement for Jason Montgomery. Jason retired from the police department in 2020, and we've selected him to come back to work inside of City Hall as the security officer for City Hall. I think we've had some previous discussions on that, and but that's what this is. The Kentucky retirement system requires a one-year agreement for retired officers to come back. We have two other officers currently operating under that same statute as well.
When would he start?
He's set to come on board, I think April 2nd is the start date, and then we have to get him some training. He's been out for almost 6 years, so we need to get him recertified, and we anticipate it take within a couple months, we'll have him full-time inside of City Hall.
What would be some specific responsibilities?
Some of the specific responsibilities include, he's going to be at the front, but he'll be kind of patrolling the inside and outside. He's going to work with staff on some safety precaution things with each individual department as well.
Okay.
And also, Commissioner, at times, unfortunately, we have individuals that come into City Hall that overly aggressive, and right now, we have to pull somebody out of prevention, or myself or some of the other staff have to go and engage with that, and we hopeful that this will be a little bit of a deterrent to those type of activities, but in today's society, what we've seen, has been occurring, and so we think that not only the safety aspects of the day-to-day, but also just, being able to work with staff and our finance department and the amount of money that they take in and things like that to be helpful. And this individual's been, while he's been retired from us for a number of years, he has been working in the federal courts building. So he's not totally out of the loop, so.
Right, yeah, he's been employed at the federal courthouse as a security officer for the last several years.
And-
Good.
And this is not a creation of, while it is a new position for us, we have reclassified one position in the police department that was no longer being utilized, and so it's not an additional full-time equivalent.
And I know that we're already working on avenues to make sure that the people who are on the front line, customer experience, those folk are safe
Yep.
Yes.
when people enter into the building.
Yep. Yeah, we're going through some safety audits of this building. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Chief. Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Okay, we're going to now adopt the ordinance amending the 911 parcel fee. If you would read that.
I propose motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending the 911 parcel fee ordinance. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The proposed amendment revises the city's existing 911 parcel fee ordinance in order to clarify applicability, refine property classifications, formalize the appeals process, and update administrative provisions to ensure fairness, consistency, and long-term stability in the funding of the joint city-county emergency 911 services. This amendment clarifies fee applicability by shifting the assessment standard from parcels that are occupied to parcels that are occupiable, thereby ensuring that all parcels capable of occupancy are assessed consistently. This amendment expressly includes residential storage structures and governmental public housing units within the scope of accessible residential units. The amendment refines property classifications by reclassifying medical facilities as commercial units, ensuring assessments are commensurate with similarly sized commercial properties. The amendment refines and clarifies the definitions and classifications applicable to residential, commercial, public use, and mixed-use parcels, and more specifically, delineates residential storage structures, medical facilities, and government public housing units to ensure consistent and accurate application of the ordinance. Further, it provides that mixed-use parcels shall be assessed at the highest applicable rate based on combined square footage. This amendment adopts formal hearing procedures, rules and procedures for the Paducah-McCracken County 911 Parcel Fee Appeals Board and provides a defined right of appeal from a final order of the Appeals Board to the McCracken District Court within 30 days. This amendment updates certain administrative provisions by removing the expired first-year residential rental rebate language and clarifying that annual parcel fee adjustments shall be rounded to the nearest dollar.
So moved.
Second.
I think they've covered everything in the last meetings and tonight. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Okay, if you would read the next ordinance for adoption, please.
A proposed motion of the Board of Commissioners to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 126 zoning, Section 3 definitions of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah, Kentucky. This ordinance amends Chapter 126 zoning, Section 3 definitions of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah to allow medical cannabis dispensaries to use their logos, symbols, and branded colors on signage at their dispensary premises. Signage cannot be illuminated by neon lights, and off-premises freestanding signs are expressly prohibited. The Paducah Planning Commission had a public hearing on March 2nd, 2026, and forwarded a recommendation that the City Commission approve the amendment.
So moved.
Second.
All right, y'all read this had heard more about this at the last meeting, correct?
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. And the next one, we're happy to be able to introduce tonight an amendment with the AFSCME, American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees. So if you would read that, please.
A proposed motion of the Board of Commissioners to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of Paducah and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, Local 1586. This ordinance is summarized as follows, that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute an agreement and other associated documents between the City of Paducah and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, Local 1586. This agreement shall be effective from July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Again, I know y'all must have discussed this 2 weeks ago and had further discussion, but I also know a lot of work goes into getting us to this point. So congratulations to all of those involved, and thank you for your hard work on it. Would you call roll, please?
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. And we'll continue on the same with the Paducah Police Department Bargaining Unit.
A proposed motion of the Board of Commissioners to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement and other associated documents between the City of Paducah and the Paducah Police Department Bargaining Unit. This ordinance is summarized as follows: that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute an agreement and other associated documents between the City of Paducah and the Paducah Police Department Bargaining Unit. This agreement shall be effective from July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
So move.
Second.
All right, not any more discussion then? Okay. Again, I know the representatives of both unions are here tonight. We're going to do pictures, I think, officially tomorrow of signing those. So thank you again for all of your hard work. So if you would
Thank
call
you.
roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. So thanks again. Good to have you all here tonight with us. Thank you. Congratulations. And I think the picture signing is tomorrow
At 10 a.m.
Okay, 10 a.m. The mayor will be back. So thank you. All right, we have one ordinance introduction tonight. If you would read that, please.
A proposed motion, the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance extending the boundary of the City of Paducah, Kentucky by annexing certain property lying adjacent to the corporate limits of the City of Paducah and accurately just defining the boundary of said property to be included within the said corporate limits. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The City of Paducah hereby approves the consensual annexation of a certain tract of property contiguous to the present city limits located at 224 Burger Road and containing approximately .371 acres.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Josh.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Wilson, Commissioners, City Manager, Madam City Clerk. This is about the most straightforward annexation we could ever hope for, to tell you the truth. It is 16,143 square feet at 224 Burger Road. The property owner has requested an annexation for the property tax rebate and also sanitation pickup. They've since moved to Village Square Drive, so we anticipate another office-type use going in that building, something along the lines of another medical office, accountant, attorney, some kind of professional office. They have requested that the Planning Commission initially zone this parcel R4, which is high-density residential, which would allow that type of office use to continue. And that'll be going to the next Planning Commission in April. So I'll be glad to answer any questions that anybody has.
So the building is currently empty?
Yes.
Is that right? So-
Yep.
And Josh, this is a consensual annexation.
Yes.
And so also kind of walk the commission through the next steps
Sure.
before it comes back to them for a second, please.
Right. So we're in the midst of the 45-day notification to the fiscal court. That is up, I believe, on April 23rd or thereabouts. So it will come back to this body for final at the last meeting in April. I believe that's the 28th, whenever that is officially run out. And then about that time, the 21 days from the Planning Commission will be kicking in, so it'll be zoned and annexed approximately at the same time.
Great. Let's do more.
Thank you.
We are working on those, Commissioner.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you
All right,
all.
we'll vote on that later. All right, now we're going to talk about the budget with Audra Kyle. Audra, I've already beat my one record of like a 17-minute meeting, so we're not
know.
racing for that tonight.
Well, I have my 16-year-old cooking dinner. If I get home too early, I'm going to end up having to help her. So I may need to stretch this out. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Wilson, Commissioners, City Manager, City Clerk. The first thing I want to do tonight is introduce you to our new controller, Lauren Delaney. I'm very excited to introduce her to everyone. Lauren comes to us from Kemper CPA Group, where she has built her career. She started out as a tax and audit intern and worked her way all the way up to management. She's a certified public accountant, and she's also a Paducah native. She graduated from McCracken County High School and received both her bachelor's and master's degrees from Murray State University. Lauren has come to us in a very exciting and crazy time, which is budget, and she's jumped right in, and she's already made a positive impact in a short amount of time. We're really excited to have her. So this is Lauren.
Welcome, Lauren. Happy to have you here.
And also, I wondered if Darren might say this part, but for the next several meetings during budget season, we're going to have a place on the agenda to have some sort of budget discussion, discussing some aspect of the budget or budget process. But we thought we would kick it off tonight by taking a look at our financial transparency software, which is a tool that the citizens can use to look at our budget or actual data at any point in time. And Lauren is going to demonstrate that for you all tonight.
I'll follow up on that because I know that we will all be scheduling meetings with you all individually to talk about the budget as we begin to prepare for it. We're going to be planning to vote on that in June. Correct, or before June.
Statutorily, I'm required to present a budget message to you before the end of May. And so we have it targeted for our second meeting in May for that budget message to be presented in the first reading of the budget. And then for adoption at the first meeting in June. And that gives the staff and our team the rest of June to kind of close out the year and not do it. But statutorily, you do not have to adopt it until the end of June. But we try to get it done before then. And so the second meeting in May and the first meeting in June are the two scheduled budget.
So this really gives us extra time, I guess is what I'm wanting to kind of say with you too. We'll have our individual
Yes.
meetings, but then we also are going to be hearing from you during these next few meetings,
Yes.
the sessions. So as we begin to prepare and think about the budget and think about our needs for income and expenses and all of that as we go forward.
Yes.
So thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yes, and I'm grinning because you say extra time, but it is so tight.
Well, it is, but we haven't always gone
No,
into
we
this
have
much
not.
detail.
No,
so
no,
it's very important, I think,
Yes.
for us to have this much detail.
Yes, I really appreciate the city manager bringing this up and adding it to the agenda because it does give us some extra time to give some more details and give you all an opportunity to ask any questions you might have as we move along. So, thank you.
Lauren?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Lauren Delaney, and I'd like to take a few minutes to walk you through our financial transparency software. This tool is available on the city's website and updates automatically each week. To get to the portal, simply visit the Finance Department page and click on the Paducah Open Finance Portal link. That brings you to the home page. From here, you can access the revenue budget and the expense budget by selecting Explore. On this screen, you'll see the revenue budget displayed by fund. The bar graph shows actual amounts in dark blue and the revised budget in light blue. If you prefer to view the data as percentages instead of dollar amounts, you can switch between the two here. If a table view is easier to read, the same information, both actual and budgeted amounts, is listed at the bottom of the page. You can also drill down for more detail. For example, selecting the general fund brings up the different types of revenues, such as property taxes and interest. Drilling further into occupational license breaks that category down into subcategories, which includes payroll tax, insurance tax, and more. Over on the right-hand side of the screen, you can switch between a bar graph, pie chart, or a line graph. The pie chart defaults to showing budgeted figures, but if you'd like to see actual amounts, you can adjust that setting in the top corner. Just like before, you can drill down into a fund to see more detailed information. To do so, you can either click the fund on the left side of the screen, click on the pie chart, or you can select it at the bottom of the screen. Dollar amounts and percentages are also listed at the bottom for easy reference. Now let's move to expenditures. To access the expenditure budget from this page, use the drop-down menu and select Explore Operating. This screen displays expenditure by fund, but you can change how the information is grouped by using this arrow right here. If you want to see spending by function or department, you can switch to that here. Clicking on a fund also breaks down expenses further by function within that fund. And just like in the revenue budget, you can change the type of graph or scroll down to view the dollar amounts and percentages. Another useful feature is the ability to view prior fiscal years going all the way back to 2023. Once you select the year, the portal automatically updates the data while keeping the same navigation features. There's also a search function on the homepage. You can type in a function, department, or program, and it will take you directly to relevant data. Apparently I can't type, okay. Once you, for example, if I type in public safety, I can immediately view those expenses. From here, I can switch the view to show the information by department, or even break it down further to show division. Lastly, the portal also provides quick access to the city's budget books, audit reports, and popular annual financial report through the external links and reports menu. We are excited to offer this platform because it provides access to timely and accurate information in a user-friendly format. If there are any questions about using this software, please reach out to me or Audra Kyle. Thank you.
That was absolutely excellent. Will our individual budget meetings be this easy?
Those decisions to be made.
That's right.
What I really like about this tool, because we have different levels, as she pointed out, you can get, you can hit the link to the PAFR, or Popular Annual Financial Report, or the full budget, or our ACFR. But what I like about this tool is that it's so easy to use, and you're not going to break anything. Someone with a low level of expertise in either a computer or finances can just get on here and click and drill down into the different funds and departments, and you're not going to break anything. So it's just kind of that level that's accessible to everyone to learn about our budget and what it includes.
And I'll say I've had several people that has helped, you know, and even myself, if somebody asks me a question about a budget item, I can just go search it up and provide the answer.
Yes.
So it's a resource for not only the community, but us as well. So it's very
Yes.
beneficial.
I really like the ease of use of it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And so, commissioners, wanted to start the budget process in discussion with this one, because that is our current budget. And so as we get to those meetings that you were referencing, Mayor Pro Tem, you know, in advance of that, we'll be talking about where we sit today. And so I would ask you to, you know, to get in there and look at that, and familiarize yourself with some of that, because it does, on the expense side, you know, personnel is always going to be our largest expense across all departments, across the agency. But on the revenue side, you can really see, you know, where our big four revenues are, and you can see where our big four expenses are. But you can also see, going back historically and looking at that revenue, is that you'll see a trend line that we're really not, I mean, our revenue's not jumping up real much. You know, it's pretty consistent over the last several years. Our expenses, because of personnel, are increasing. And so that is going to be a big part of our discussion during the budget process this year, is that while financially we are sound, I don't want it to sound like Chicken Little here, that the sky is falling, because it's not. Our team does a good job of allocating and being good stewards of the public dollars. But there is a reality that, you know, the more that we take on, the more activities that we have, investment in our own facilities, investment in community facilities, you know, if we can get that grant to help, to your point, Commissioner Smith, you know, $440,000 investment on a nearly, you know, $2 million project is a good, and we look for those. But those are the realities also of finances versus, you know, revenue versus expenses, and how do we move forward and continue to stay financially stable. And so, again, wanted to have the team start tonight with the transparency page. We've had it out there for a couple of years. And also wanted for the public to understand that it is out there. I'm glad to hear that we are getting some use of that from the public, and they're sharing that with you. Because that was our goal when we rolled that out a couple of years ago, is to be more open. They are public dollars. We are the stewards of those dollars, and we want to show how we're being judicious with those. And so that's why we wanted to start tonight. So.
And just a quick thought, whenever we, like, you know, around tax time, that's where people kind of get upset with the city. Do we put a queue, or do we link that financial site to the mail that goes out or anything related to tax time, or Can we in the future?
We are looking at lots of different options right now with community engagement. We've actually been talking about property tax time. Just yesterday, we had a class over at the McCracken County Library on the second floor. We had a class on business license renewal. We may have something similar to that during property tax time if people have questions about how their bill is calculated. And perhaps something like that with the QR code or something to lead them to our website definitely is a good consideration. So we're really, my team right now is awesome, and especially that revenue side. They are really innovative and looking at new ways to engage with the community and to educate. And so I will take that recommendation back to them.
Thank you.
And to your point also, and one thing about our transparency side, when you talk about those taxes, I know I sound like a broken record to this body, is that when our tax bills go out, we collect for Paducah Independent School System. That revenue isn't on our transparency page because it's not our revenue.
Right.
We just collect on their behalf. And so the largest portion of the city's tax bill actually isn't our dollars.
Is it like 4 times as much?
It was, I think for this year, it was 88.882, and ours was 0.271.
So 4 times.
Yeah,
Roughly,
it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Look forward to the next presentations.
Yep, we'll be talking about
More
expenses
discussions.
next time, general fund expenses.
Okay, great. Thank you. City Manager, do you have any other comments tonight?
Just want to, again, acknowledge, as you did earlier, and rightfully so, the work that a team put in with our union contract negotiations. Appreciate the representatives from AFSCME and the police department being here tonight, and then also, but their work and the work of our team to get to a point to where we could go ahead and have those ready to move forward at the first of the fiscal year. Those are 3-year contracts, and they don't come together overnight, and so all parties working together got us to tonight, and I appreciate their efforts and their hard work, as well as the police chief and our representatives from our public works and parks and engineering, where we also have representatives from AFSCME, and then our HR directors. I appreciate their hard work to get us here tonight.
Any city commissioner comments?
Just a comment, the city's getting really pretty, things are blooming out, and I just, just want to make a plug, if you see litter, or don't litter, but if you see litter, pick it up. Appreciate all the work that our AFSCME people have done. So I'm very appreciative of everything that goes into making city pretty. And I saw yesterday, the street crew was, or maybe it was Amy's group, were actually cleaning out the flower beds downtown. I know those are a big thing for you, for all of us, but you've been a real advocate of making sure those beds look nice and are planted and all, and I see that's going on too. So it's a great time of year.
It is a really pretty time in our city. We're getting ready for the Dogwood Trail and then all the quilters that are coming in. So I would urge all business owners to really spiff it up, put some flowers out, plant some flowers, and I'm glad we're doing that. So thank you.
We got to put out a PSA, Buzz Smith, don't litter.
I was just going to mention part of what Commissioner Smith has mentioned, and that is that we're getting a lot of positive comments about how the city is looking and the direction that the city is going in. We just had, last week or the week before last, I had a guest here who has been in Paducah before, and he talked extensively about the difference Paducah looks, how it looks today than it did a few years back when he was here before. So that's exciting. And then I wanted to let you know too that our second year for the community gardens, we did some planning on Saturday. We're going to even have some more beds this time around. And certainly we appreciate Miss Amy and her team, her staff, for helping us. She's sitting back there looking unfazed, but we certainly do want to thank her for her team for being out there helping us. So things are good, looking good everywhere you go.
Yeah. Mr. Thomas, do you have anything?
I disagree.
Right. Well, I know you all probably have already talked about the monoliths maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was out of town at the Energy Communities Alliance meeting and had some great discussion out there about everything going on at the Department of Energy site. But the monoliths are gone. I drove through there Sunday. The mayor says, how many times a day do I drive through the riverfront? And I do drive through there pretty often, but it is a beautiful view. I want you to know that we did talk with the artists that had talked to us about a possible art project on that, and they certainly understood that we had decided to take those down, and we will look for other opportunities to include art in some way in the Build Grant program. But it is looking amazing. It's huge. I love seeing all the cranes down there. So Greg and all of your team, everybody's doing, just looks great. I can't wait to get it
down
up
there
in the
this
summer.
morning.
You were this morning too. So I have my whole path that I go through. So it's very exciting to see it. All right. Well, if there's no other business, then I guess oh no, I do have one other thing I want to say. I feel like the city should offer our condolences, and I know we did send something for the passing of Stephen Rudy, Majority House Leader of the State House of Kentucky, on the loss of his wife this week. And, you know, when they did the redistricting, Stephen Rudy reached into the city more, so he does cover quite a bit of the city, and we've been meeting with him and talking to him. So we just want to send our sympathy and condolences to him and his daughter Maddie and their whole family. So, thank you. All right, with that, meeting adjourned.
Need a motion.
I need a motion. Somebody want to make a
So
motion?
moved.
Commissioner Smith?
Second.
Commissioner Henderson? All those in favor? Adjourned. Not a record, but pretty good timing.
If-